So yeah, thank you everyone for joining the reading group. So today we will be talking about A-MEM, which is Agentic Memory for LLM agents. So I got this inspiration from working from a project where I was trying to integrate memory into some LLM agents. So and yeah, this was published in NeurIPS 2025. I mean later last year, and seems to be bringing some ideas on how we can improve the existing architecture. So yeah, so before going into memories, um, we should understand what an LLM agent mean basically. So we know that LLMs generate text based on prompts, but what makes LLM an agent is basically adding those extra functionalities so that it can act with the environment or maybe call different APIs, bring some data, which they call tool use. And yeah, sure.
I don't know. I think you shared the wrong tab.
You can change
So,
the view over
You're
here.
sharing your presenters.
Screens.
So we see your presenters notes.
Okay. You need to share that
You
screen.
can,
Yeah.
yes. So
Somewhere,
you share with us.
That one.
all right.
Yeah.
okay, that's good.
Perks of
Thank you so
not
much.
using Zoom a lot. Anyway,
Thank you.
all right. So and so with that tools environment, and then comes the memory, because we see LLMs gathering insights about user preferences and chat histories. So that's where the memory comes in. And also in recent days, there are workflows where agent does different things from A to Z, and all of them involves using different tool use and making decisions, which is very important. So that's about LLM agents. So in memories, so when it comes to memories, it started with RAG. We probably all know what RAGs are. So just to quick recap on RAG is basically we try to fetch some relevant data from an external database or knowledge base, given the prompt, and inject the knowledge into the prompt so that the LLMs can make better generations. So that's RAG. But the thing about RAG is that it doesn't change the context window of the LLM, and it's all just external knowledge and retrieving. So MemGPT improved upon this one. And the idea that MemGPT brought is basically augmenting the context itself. So it broke down the context into three parts. Two parts are frozen, which is the system prompt and the user preferences. And the third part is what they call is a dynamic context. So that part is being changed based on the interaction with the user. So that was the idea from MemGPT. So just to give you an example, if I ask the LLM, give it a picture of a dinosaur, and I ask, what's the color of the dinosaur? It will answer that it's green, maybe. So, and then I say that I killed that dinosaur. So now what MemGPT would do is it would change the answer, like the color of the dinosaur was green, to something like the color of the killed dinosaur was green. So it will change the context, and that would basically help in future conversations. And then comes Memory Bank, which was also very recent and improved upon MemGPT. So what it brought was basically the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve, what they call, is it's similar to how human brains work, that human tends to forget memories long term. Like we don't know what happened 10 years ago in Sunday afternoon, but we definitely know what happened yesterday. So they implemented one decay function, which which is applied on the context of the memory of the LLM. I mean, basically the context, and allow it to forget past memories and strengthen the short-term memories. So the more the user recalls the recent memories, they get stronger. If they don't recall the long-term memories, it tends to get fade away. So that showed good improvements. But all of these three, one thing was missing: the connections between the memories. So if we keep memories or retrieve memories, but memory A doesn't know about anything memory B. So that's the thing that MEM0 tried to solve, which is using a graph database to connect between different nodes within defined structure, and keep the same context augmenting structure same. So what the authors in the paper actually tried to address is no fixed structure. I mean, we don't want to graph like fixed structures or connecting nodes with based on a single rule. Also want the system to be very flexible in terms of retrieving and also linking between the relations of the memory. So with that, they tried to get inspiration from this Zettelkasten principle. So it's a German word meaning different block boxes, like sleep boxes, and the idea means that how we organize memory from a psychological perspective, like each memory should be a distinct memory, one idea, and each memory should be correctly identified, maybe with an UUID. It should have linking properties between different memories, and it should evolve based on other memories. So let's say I have some perceptions on one person, I have some knowledge, but I know something from another person that person X does something. So now my memory is reshaped with the knowledge. So that's something that this principle says. So the A-MEM agentic memory paper, they tried to implement this idea. So they formalized into two steps. One is that they defined each memory node, which is M here, with different parameters. We will go into the parameters in detail. So just to give you an idea, it involves context, tags, summarized content, and the embedding, and also the links. And the other part is letting the LLM do the linking. That's the agentic part that they mention, is that they let the LLM to create the links between memories first, and second, they let the LLM to evolve the memory. Means if there's a memory like within this, they call it a node, memory node. So they want to change the node based on another node. So if M1 influences M2, then M2 will be changed. That's the idea. But this thing is not strictly rule based. It will be done by the LLM with prompts, of course. So there are 3 prompts doing 3 different things: PS1, PS2, PS3. All of these are prompts. So this is the main architecture. So if we take a look on the first thing, which is node construction. So basically we have a conversation, and from the conversation, it's a question. And from the question and answer, it goes to the LLM and it creates a node. And a node is basically formed of this time step, content, context, keywords, tags, and embedding. So it's like an array of things. And then it goes to the link generation phase. So in the link generation, what happens is that we have like 10 nodes, okay, 10 nodes, and we want to link these nodes to the existing 50 nodes. Let's say we have a memory of 100 nodes, and our current node is node A. So they prompt the LLM to find the relevant nodes based on the node A. But they do it in 2 stages. First is they first fetch 10 top K, which is top 10 relevant nodes based on the embedding, and then let the LLM generate the link. And the links do not, predefined, like the relations are not predefined. So for example, in graphs, we have predefined node edges, like person A has this property, person A belongs to this property. But in this case, these relations are not fixed. It is judged by the LLM. So that's the link generation. And the third step is the memory evolution. So the memory evolution is, let's say we have node A and we have the 10 relevant nodes and they are linked together. That part is done. But the question is, does node A, the information of node A, does it influence the other nodes? And if it influences, then change the context of the other nodes. So that's the third part, and that is also being done by the LLM. So why they call it agentic memory is basically the link generation and the memory evolution is done by LLM. Yeah.
So back to information.
Yeah.
What the criteria for the LLM for linking these together?
Yeah.
What the criteria, like, how can I evaluate this node is relevant to?
Yeah, that is being done with the prompt. And remember that each node consists of many different things like content, context, and summary, and keywords and tags. So they somehow try to relate these contents with the other nodes and find the link. So it's a prompting technique, but only for linking between the nodes.
So it's the linking depends on the decision of the
LLM, yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. So these are the main three parts. And on the right hand side, which is the memory retrieval, this is for like the normal inference. So once we build this all nodes which are interconnected, if we have a query, then we do top K search, retrieve the node, and use that to answer the questions. That's the straightforward inference part. So if we go into the details for these particular things, which is M1, it's a node. It consists of content and timestamp, which is given by the user. Content means the prompt, timestamp we already have. Keywords, tags, and context, these are generated by the LLM based on the prompt. Embedding, we calculate this with sentence bird. And the links L1 is done by the LLM with the prompt PS1.
One kind of question.
Yeah.
So the content can be a conversation.
Yes.
Between user
And the
LLM.
agent. Yeah.
And does the model decide when to create a node, or is it every time a conversation finishes?
Yeah. Every time a conversation finishes, it creates a node.
Okay.
Yeah. So once we have the embedding, the link generation happens. So for the link generation, there are two stages, as I mentioned before. First is to retrieve the top K, which is cost efficient, which is why they do it with cosine similarity. First, retrieve the top K nodes based on the embeddings. So remember that each node has an embedding here, E. So they uses the embedding to fetch the top 10 similar nodes. And then in stage 2, they ask LLM to actually generate the link. So the distinction is the stage 1 is based on embedding level relation, and stage 2 is not embedding. It's based on the LLM's decision, how the nodes are interconnected. So that's the link generation. And the last part is memory evolution. So that's another prompt, which is PS3 for the LLM. They give these 10 links, generated links, and nodes given node A. Now, let the LLM change the context of the other memories. If they want to change it, I mean, it's up to the LLM.
And they change only those three things that you initially were generated.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So
the embedding is recomputed.
The embedding is pre-computed with sentence bird. So if we talk about what the LLM changes, basically keywords, tags, context, these three things.
But is the embedding recomputed once those things change?
No.
Embedding is just for the content.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So yeah, that's mainly the basic idea of what they tried to do. And for the experiment parts, they used mainly two data sets, which is Locomo and Dial Sim. Both of them are long conversations data set. And the Locomo has this advantage of 5 different types of data, which is single hop, multi-hop, temporal. So just to give you an idea, single hop means one question, one answer. Multi-hop means multiple conversations. Temporal means there will be a time-related question. Open domain means we don't know what domain it comes from. And adversarial is more like attacking the LLM, that something nonsense asking and see how it responds. Since it's a question answering data set, the evaluations are F1 score mainly. So, and they also tried to show blue scores and Meteor Rogue scores, but they mainly used F1 because it's accuracy kind of precision task. And for the foundation models, they used GPT-4o Mini, which is the closed source one. They used smaller models like Llama and Quen with up to 3 billion parameters. And there was a small study only for the ablations, which is DeepSeek and Claude. These are the main results. And among most of the other baselines, which is MEM-GPT, which is a big one, Memory Bank, Read Agent, and Locomo, they basically showed that A-MEM outperforms most of them in all of the criterias. And they mentioned that the multi-hop results are usually 2 times higher. And they also did ablation studies for how many tokens it's using to perform these memory integrations. Also, how long it takes. It's pretty similar with the memory bank they mentioned. Yeah, so these are the main results. And if we go to the other one, which is the dial sim, okay, so sorry, this one is only for Locomo, and this one is for dial sim. So for dial sim, they added those 3 metrics, which is blue, rogue, and SBART, and it also performing well. For cost efficiency, these are the things reported by the paper, that Locomo main GPT uses a lot tokens, but A-MEM actually reduces the tokens because it does the pre-filtering with the embedding similarity. Those 10 nodes retrieval, that actually eliminates a lot of token usage. Cost per operation is very less. I don't know if it's less or more, but this is the value they mentioned. Yeah, these are the latencies. They also did one ablation study is with the link generation, without link generation, and without the memory evolution. So they showed that without both of them, it's kind of bad. With link generation, which is the YOLO, it's mediocre. And with all of those combined, the 3 components, it's the best. And lastly, the effect of K, which is the top K retrieval task, which in the link generation, we retrieve how many samples we want to generate the links. So they show that the K eventually plateaus somewhere between 20 or 30. So they did mention that they changed K for different data sets. But the main data set that they used is Locomo, and they set K to 10. But doesn't make that much of a difference. And lastly, they did TSNE visualization for one conversation. So the left one is one conversation, second one is the different one. So the red ones are the base LLMs, and the blue ones are the A-MEM ones. So what they tried to show is that the A-MEM ones form a cluster which is better than the scattered base ones. So since the clustering is the main thing, because we want the memories to be together, the similar memories based on links and actual information, and thus getting the best retrieval to generate the actual answer. Yeah, so that's mostly about it. They published their production and benchmark evaluation code. It seems to be getting a good number of forks and stars in GitHub, and seems to be liked by the community. But yeah, agentic memory, it's a new concept. Probably we'll see more papers on this one. Thank you.
Wonderful. Yeah. Would you like me to stop the recording now?
Yeah,
And
sure.
do the session of
Yeah,
questions after? Okay, so let's see what's happening.
Very interesting.
Okay. So-